Nice work, Thick Daddy. Yeah, I suppose. Just like last mission, and the mission before that, and the mission before that, and the mission before that, and the mission before that.
There are few who deny it. When I eat, I am the best, for my stomach is renowned for being wide. When it comes to surprise meals in Orbalis, I consume without ever even dying. With the lowest energy drain and my cavernous maw, I have eaten full crowds without a shriek. With a stomp of my feet and a great big yawn, I have swept the very Grenier off their feet. And as I consume, it's the same routine as I grow so hungry for more to eat. And I, Grendel, the Pumpkin King, am so much thicker than that skeleton thing. Oh, somewhere deep inside of my tum, a belt grew to expel all them. I'll yeet them out there into the sky and leave them screaming, why, oh why? I'm a being of mass, and I'm having a blast, and I'm not afraid to bite you in half. From crewmen to Zanuka, or masters of Kuba, my teammates cry I'm eating them too fast. And since I am thick as salvage walls of brick, I can take all of the damage for my teammates. No corpus or Grenier can ever stay near when I transform into a giant toxic meatball. But who here would ever understand that the Pumpkin King with the big stomach grin would never be sated? There's no way he ever could. He'd never give up trying to do good. Oh, somewhere deep inside of my tum, there's space aplenty for all them. Our enemies come all of the time. I look forward to this endless grind.
You're level 30 now, destined for stasis. Let's go home.
Cool boy. What a song, am I right, guys? Do you have any idea how hard this was to make? It was pretty hard. So let's make like Philly D and...
Hit that like button and let's just jump into it.
Let's talk sheet music first. I haven't read sheet music in over a decade and a half. I played trumpet back in middle school, and even then I struggled. Combine that into the fact that I've also barely played piano. I mean, I've sussed out how to plink away Frere Jacques on a piano, but that was by ear. Going into this, I didn't know Frere Jacques shit about playing sheet music on a piano. I certainly had to figure it out in order to make this song, though. So what did I do? Well, I found some tools and cheat sheets, so to speak. I found a couple of pictures that helped me line things up, such as this lovely one right here. This is what I used to make sure I was selecting the right note on LMS's piano roll. I know most of how the note works, things like quarter notes, half notes, that's easy shit. I even remember how most of the rests work. What I did forget was how the flats and sharps work. Then you get into weird things like E sharp, which is just F. It's just a damn F. There's weird shit about triads and chords and whatnot that dictate using an E sharp in notation, but it's just a fucking F note. The beginning of my note translation is probably very imperfect due to figuring out a lot of this about a third of the way into the song. Not playing piano also threw me for another loop. The bass line has double notes that get played at different times with rests and things. It's sort of confusing, but once I figured it out, it was easy to deal with. The only other hang up I had was all these damn chords. Oh, you know what else is a fun challenge? Having your song shift tempo right in the middle. See, on this page it says the bass notation is 4/4 with a beats per minute of 58. So I went to this whole project by making my settings for that beats per minute. But here's the sticking point. There's 2 waltz segments that are in 3/4, which isn't a huge deal, but the beats per minute changes. Changes a lot. Goes clear up to like 90. Doesn't say that in this sheet music here, so whenever I tried listening to it, it just felt way too slow. A little Googling gave me the standard beats per minute for a waltz, and then I just had to figure out how to change it in LMMS. My first instinct was to just make 2 projects because you can't just change the beats per minute on the fly. Or can you? That's where this neat little tool comes in, an automation track. It allows you to change certain settings for certain segments of a song, so I just had to use it to change the tempo up and down. I left the time signature the same because for the most part it didn't matter, things lined up pretty well, so that worked. Okay, so I finally get done with all the automation, note entry, and then comes the vocals. See, the last song I did, iCard right there, top right corner, was pretty freeform. Just sing the song, slap some basic flutter beneath it, and call it a day. This song, however, has a lot of structure to it, and I wanted to fit into that. So it took quite a bit of practice to even come close to having it right. The giant toxic meatball portion was a really hard hang up for me. I just couldn't get the timing right. Even on my final recording I had some hiccups, but at some point you have to just make a decision to finish it. If I were to go back and do a re-recording, I'd probably make a simpler audio track in LMMS just for following the vocals with nice, solid beats. It's what I'll probably do for my next song, whatever and whenever that winds up being. And I tried to put my vocals into LMMS just to see if I could do anything with that, and it came out like this.
It is written down for being wide. When it comes to surprise meals in Orbalis, I consume without ever even dying. With the lowest energy drain in my cavernous maw, I have eaten.
The lyrics as a whole were pretty easy. I got the idea and pounded it out pretty quick. There were a few hangups for pacing, but for the most part, they came out easy. The video portion was very imperfect. If there was a nice proper first-person view option for filming in Warframe, I'd use it. I got a few friends to line up playing Shazin in the Fortuna Captura area and had them plink away to mimic the street band in the movie. Recorded my vocals and kinda slapped things together. The one thing that really annoyed me is that door doesn't open in Captura, so I had to record that at a different time. And again, if I were to do this differently, I'd probably be playing the music as I played the game for Grendel's actions, matching up better. I honestly just got a little tired of working on it and didn't feel like cutting stuff apart or just refilming. It is nice that my pipeline is a lot easier to manage now though. We got a new computer so my partner can stream on her new machine and I can do my video stuff on my old machine. Hi. And the machine I was using can go elsewhere. The only other challenge was the thumbnail. It was a big undertaking to get it to look the way I wanted to see it in my head. I'm no Photoshop or image manipulation expert though. I can't even draw a circle. I wanted to see Grendel sucking in Jack Skellington off of the curly hill in the movie. I knew the suck effect would be overlapping the moon, so I tried a few things, but they didn't come out right. I finally settled on this process. I took 2 screenshots in Warframe. One over a black background and another over a yellow background. I layered the yellow over the black background, then put a circle over the yellow bit and a eraser tooled around it, then erased the rest of it to reveal the black layer beneath. Spray paint tooled around the moon for a shitty glow effect, and spray painted gray for Grendel's sock. Making music is probably one of the hardest things I've done so far. That's why I do these separate videos, because it just takes so long to discuss the process, on such a traditionally short video. It's so entirely different as a process, and it doesn't help that I've been working on this for literal weeks due to overtime and interruptions and a whole host of other factors. But thank you for watching if you got this far, and as you leave, make sure to swallow your enemies, vomit them into space, sumo stomp for big heals, sing about your problems, then give Samus the biggest lady boner she's ever had when you chase an enemy like a boulder in an Indiana Jones movie.